Welcome to Mammon Podcast, Mike and Mike on Mike, the podcast where Mike and Mike talk about their top fives. And today we've gone away from games, away from films and TV shows, and we're looking at top 5 childhood toys. I think this one, it should be easy to define, but we'll see. Mike, to you, what does top 5 childhood toys mean?
So the way I defined it, and I'm not sure about, the way I'm defining it, I'm sure about my choices, but I think there potentially is a debate about the definition of toys, is something that you used to play with as a child. That's what a toy is, something that you play with.
Well, I actually did a lot of research into this and found an article from about 6 years ago from Oxford University. Did a study into this to define it, and their conclusions essentially at the end of it was shit you play with. So yeah, that's
nice.
I'd count that as childhood toys.
In which case, I'm fine.
I'd love it if there really is an Oxford study that just has shit you play with after all these incredibly complex discussions, and then that's how it ends.
Yeah, it's just shit you play with. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I think anything you played with as a kid counts to me.
Looking on Wikipedia, it says a toy is an item that is used in play, especially one designed for such use.
Yeah, all my choices I think go along on that theme, so yeah. I'm okay. What about you?
I think so. I'm still not 100% convinced about my number one, but we'll go with it. I think it is, in my definition and eyes, a toy.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Before we get into it then, how's your week been? I don't feel like we don't... You told me about this thing about... What podcast was it where two of the blokes said they just stopped talking to each other?
Oh, it's the Lockdown Parenting with Josh Widdicombe and Rob Beckett.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they stopped talking during the week because they were realising that they had nothing to say during this beginning a little bit. But the thing is, during lockdown, what is there to talk about? What did you do? I sat in my pants and ate Weetabix all day.
That's a good day, lockdown.
Yeah, I just feel like during lockdown, there's not really a lot that's happening. And there is currently still no news about whether the baby's arrived. So I've been saying this for, I think, the last 3 weeks. But so yeah, I'm still playing the waiting game here. How about you?
Yeah, no, nothing much. I finished up for half term, which is good, and I've treated myself to Assassin's Creed Valhalla to play my week off, so I'll absolutely smash that for a week and then probably never play it again after half term.
Yeah, I got, what's the first one? Origins for Christmas. I was playing it obsessively for a bit and then just gave up.
I want to play the London one.
It's not that great. Is that Unity?
No, that's the Paris one. I think Syndicate is the UK one.
I think I've got the UK one. I couldn't remember what it's called. Yeah, Syndicate. I didn't enjoy it that much.
Do you know what, I was watching a guy who's just spent the last year, not the only thing he did obviously, but replaying all of the mainline Assassin's Creed games. And then he's got a 2-hour video on YouTube where he talks about them, what he liked about them, what he didn't like, and ranks them all.
Yeah.
And he said Syndicate, he didn't really... but he said if he'd ranked them, because he'd already played them all before once, if he'd ranked them before the video, he said he would have put it towards the bottom in his head. But then he's replayed it, and it ended up being his... Well, I don't know, I stopped before Valhalla because I wanted spoilers, but he'd put it as number 1 up to that point.
Oh, really?
And he said that it was the sort of last game before Origins, so it was where they had the old system where there was stealth and all these other things, and then the game completely changed for Origins because the sales were going down. I think people were getting sick of the sort of... the style of the game and the gameplay.
Yeah, it's very much different for Origins. Yeah,
exactly. So, but basically, The Witcher 3, wasn't it, Origins?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's a good statement.
But then he said, playing that again, because he's not as bored of it or, whatever, he appreciated it so much more.
That's good. Yeah. Good review. There is a spoiler for Valhalla, but you go to one of the abbeys that in my childhood, we had to go to abbey service 4 times a year for school. And apparently you burn it down. And my friend said it was quite relieving.
I don't know. I'm not religious, but I think I'll feel bad doing it almost. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm going to get some bad karma come my way.
That's the thing. It was even in sixth form when we still had to go. It was part of our school, and it was just not religious, unfortunately. I respect it, but I'm not religious.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'll still burn it down though. I'll tell you how it goes. I'll send you a picture so you can.
Cheers.
So you can experience that, relive it.
I appreciate that. I love how we said at the beginning, you said at the beginning that we've gone away from our norm and we're not talking about TV, film or games. We're talking about something else and we just spent the last 5 minutes talking about games.
Do you tell you about my books I'm reading? Will that help? Right. Top 5 childhood games. So, let's kick this off with number 5.
Well,
and let's
do you
hear
want
your
to re-record all of that?
Why?
Well, it's not a top 5 childhood games, is it?
Oh, okay. So let's start off our top 5 childhood toys, and let's kick it off with number 5. So, Mike, what is your 5th choice for childhood toys?
My number 5 is, I'm not sure if it's something that everyone's played with, but in my head, it is something that everyone's played with. So right now, I want people listening to this, and you too, Mike, to Google Fisher-Price Great Adventures Castle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm on about?
I think so, yeah. I'm going to Google this in case, but I'm pretty sure I had that or played it at someone's house. Let's have a look-see. Yeah, it was sick.
It was absolutely amazing as a playset. Like, it had a little boulder that you could roll down the chutes or the... What's the top of a castle called? They're not really towers, are they? These bits of towers. No.
Parapets?
You could roll boulders down them anyway. You could also put them into cannons and fire them off. There was 2 knights that used to joust, so you put them on these little horses and they went up against each other. And the first ones whose shield got hit, their knight fires off the horse. It was just a fun little playset, and I used all of my little toys on this, not just the knights that were included.
I remember, I'm looking at it now, because there was the gold knights and the black knights, wasn't there? And I remember making the gold knights the baddies all the time, because of do you know in Power Rangers, one of the bad guys?
Yeah,
like
Goldar.
A gold suit of armour, yeah.
Yeah, Goldar. The lion one.
Sense.
Yeah, absolutely loved playing with it. And like I said, I used all my other action figures in it. Used to get people, like, I used to roll the people down the little chutes in the thing as well. And the little drawbridge that opened up and the stickers with the moat on. It was a great little action playset. Had everything you needed as a kid growing up.
Do you know how much one of these are on eBay, the 1994 Fisher-Price Great Adventure Castle?
I'm going to guess a lot.
£55.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, that.
Because it is cheap plastic.
But then it survived. That looks in good nick when it came out in 1994.
I'm really glad that you have played with this, because, like I said, in my head, everyone's played with it. But looking at the picture, I don't remember there being a dragon on the drawbridge. I don't know if that was an addition or anything.
Yeah, I think there's some slightly different versions if I'm reading this right, or it feels like it anyway. Don't know, people have to let us know. If you played with it, did yours come with a dragon? I don't feel like mine did.
No, mine definitely didn't. But yeah, it was a great little castle, just role-playing as a kid role-playing, as these little things. I remember as well, there was like, it was almost like rock climbing down the side, so the action figures, the knights would slit into the sides of the castle, so they'd sort of be climbing the castle to attack everyone.
Yeah, I remember that. Also, you said the word slit super aggressively there.
And I'm going to stand by
it. There's a picture of one on here that's got the whole play set. It doesn't have the jousting knights in, but it's got all the normal ones.
Yeah.
And it's got a lizard man on the tower that's got like mechanical arms, like some sort of sci-fi creature.
Yeah, that doesn't fit in with the theme.
No, that obviously is just a little added bonus.
Yeah. I loved it. It was a great little playset. I definitely played with it so much.
That's a great shout, yeah. And that's, I think Fisher-Price as well. I think I'm glad that we've mentioned a Fisher-Price product because they were obviously pretty big deal.
Yeah, I don't know if I had any other Fisher-Price. I must have done because they've done so much, haven't they?
Yeah.
Little trapdoors as well. I'm looking at more pictures as we've gone along. I will be honest, I'm, to the listener, not the best prepared for this episode just because things have been quite sort of hectic in our household.
Because of the baby.
Because of an imminent baby.
Holy fuck. I'm looking at one of my choices now on eBay. I've seen how much my ones are worth now. And if it's the right one I'm thinking, mine's worth a shit ton.
You still got it?
No.
That's shit.
I know, like an absolute idiot.
See, I don't know whether my parents would have these. But yeah, well done if you know exactly what we're talking about. If you don't, I apologise because this podcast might not be for you. Or this episode.
I like it more that you picked that now.
Yeah.
I feel like we have so many weird like memories, like things that we did before we knew each other that are very similar things.
This is genuinely one. Yeah, this was genuinely one in which me and Michael talked about in the past. We both remembered that we used to be obsessed as kids with Daddy Daycare, but we also only really remember watching it up to the point where the kid pees all over the bathroom. Yeah, and that's it.
And it used to be like a comforting film, like because it was familiar, so you'd put it on to fall asleep to if you weren't feeling.
And
great.
That's always where we'd fall asleep. Like it's really so bizarre weird. That we both. I can't remember how that conversation came up.
I can't.
But yeah, like I'm genuinely not joking. We said the exact same thing at the exact same time in terms of where we fell asleep. We weren't sort of like one of us said it and the other one was like, "Oh yeah," 100% both said it at the same time, and it was surreal.
I think that's one of the main reasons that when I sent this sort of Mammon idea as a joke to you, and you said, "Actually, yeah, let's do it." That I think I did it because I was like, "Actually, I thought that it's really fun, like learning about someone. I think you should do this."
Yeah.
So yeah, great number shout. Mine's better. Oh. Just so we're aware.
Okay. Build it up now. I'll knock it down in a bit.
Everyone will have played with this, I think. My number 5 is Action Man.
Great shout.
Is it on your list?
Yeah. But I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm going to continue and keep mine on my list because I think I've cheated a little bit, but we're going to continue.
Okay. I just remember, similar to with my wrestling figure ones as well. Like, I just remember, having them fight, get into shit. I remember, it was great that you could have like lots of different types. It was great that I remember. I didn't have many. I think I had in my whole life. I had 2 vehicles.
See, I don't remember having any vehicles.
Yeah, I had a Jeep once.
Or maybe I did have a Jeep because it had like a flimsy plastic top frame bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then I had. I'm going to Google this actually. It was an Action Man like stealth jet. That was like this big black jet that was absolutely awesome. Yeah, I've just seen it. It was incredible.
Only a stealth jet during the night. Because a big black thing stealthing through the sky during the blue sky does not... It wouldn't hide itself very well.
I think it's more, isn't it, that it's got some sort of reflective things for radar than, visibly.
Oh, well, now it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, now it's not ridiculous. Ironically, I remember never really playing with the stealth jet. I remember getting that's cool, but this Action Man's climbing up the stairs. He ain't using a jet. I remember stealing my sister's Barbies and using them as hostages.
Nice.
I remember one particularly great playthrough where he saved this damsel in distress that he was in love with. Plot twist, she was the villain. Yes, that's right. I did it before Dark Knight Rises, okay? I had that idea when I was about 8. Shocked everyone. All the Action Men were devastated by it, and some of them died in the fallout from it.
Oh my god, that's really devastating.
And I remember when I finally gave them away to like one of my younger cousins, and on some of the ones that I didn't like as much, I didn't play with as much. They weren't like the main guy or the main couple I played with.
Yeah.
I'd got my felt tip pen, like the red one and the black one and the like purple one, and I'd drawn like bruises and cuts on them for like, and when they were the bad Action Men that they'd fight and they got beat the hell up. Nice.
Yeah, I have a lot of fond memories playing with Action Men. Like I said, it is on my list, but I've semi-cheated, so I will happily talk about it now. I remember there was one that it was a swimming one, and that was just one of my bath time toys.
Oh, nice.
It just used to swim around the bath.
I think I had. I think I had a shark, and that was it. That was the only bath time toy I remember having.
Oh, really? No, I had a few bath time toys.
Be honest, were you a bit too old for some of them?
No. I think the opposite. I think some of them definitely shouldn't have been bath time toys.
Were they maybe from your older... No, you're the oldest as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I am the oldest.
Oh my god, I just Googled at Swimming Action Man, and there's one that came, he's got scuba gear and a fucking dolphin.
Let's have a look. So what did you Google? Swimming Action Man.
Yeah, and then put it onto images on Google. If you're listening, have a look.
This is a follow-along episode, isn't it?
And then on there as well, there's just this naked one that someone's like splayed out on a sofa.
I think that's the one I had.
The one with the dolphin? Unbelievable.
Oh no, I don't think I did have that one. But it looks very much like it. The swimsuit looks very much like the one. But he used to so you could rotate the arm, so it was either doing front stroke or he was doing dolphin.
Wait, what was dolphin? Oh, do you mean holding on to the dolphin?
No, dolphin, as in both arms in front of you and pulling backwards.
Is that not like a butterfly?
Butterfly, that's the word. Not dolphin. Butterfly. But yeah, so you'd like rotate it around clockwise and then let go, and it'd spin back anti-clockwise and just go really fast. And
could he actually swim then if you wound up and let him go?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a cool figure.
That's pretty cool.
I remember I had a parachuting one as well, but as with all those parachuting toys from young, they never worked. So I had a bunk bed like until quite old, because me and my brother shared a room, and then we brought a new house, and then my sister came along. So we shared a bunk bed for a while, and you'd always drop it from the top bunk, and it'd just all get wound up and just fall straight to the floor.
Yeah,
parachutes in toys never work.
I think they worked the first time, the fresh out the box, that first go. And then, like you say, after that, they always got wound up and you could never quite recover them.
But yeah, loved Action Man. I think it's a spin-off of G.I. Joe, isn't it, from America? They like sort of... Yeah, it's the British version. So G.I. Joe didn't sell as well over here in terms of...
more American.
Yeah. So they sort of repurposed it as Action Man.
But would it have still been the same toys we play with the G.I. Joes, just without the G.I. Joe branding? Or were
potentially. No, because the Action Man had the Action Man like tattoos and stuff, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, so I don't know. I couldn't answer that one.
There we go. There's another thing for listeners to do, to put in. Tell us about this G.I. Joe information. Does anyone know?
Oh, they tell us shit. I've had no one tell me what that documentary is called.
Which documentary?
With the guy who shrunk down.
A documentary about a guy who shrunk down?
Yeah, we asked listeners 2 weeks ago. There was a documentary I watched as a kid in which a guy shrunk down to be with the animals and like sort of got attacked by ants, but it was a documentary.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe you were on drugs. Maybe you.
Maybe actually they do tell us shit just because no one's ever heard of that.
Yeah, because you've made this up in your mind. Oh. So yes, they're both our number 5s in there. I think.
I'm surprised Action Man is so low, so I'm intrigued where you're going now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm right to. I definitely prefer all the other ones.
Yeah.
Right, coming in at number 4. Let's hear it, Mike.
My number 4 was the toy that all parents hated, but everyone was obsessed with in the 90s, and it was the Furby.
Yeah, we were never a Furby household, but I've heard some weird shit about that.
They were literally the must-have toys of the season at one point, weren't they?
Yeah.
And I personally still don't really think I got them. I think at the time they were marketed as though they could learn stuff, but they obviously couldn't, and they could you could teach them how to talk and stuff like that.
Was it you who was telling me that the fantastic Schwarzenegger film Last Action Hero was based on the Furby toy craze?
No, I didn't tell you that.
Yeah, someone told me that he's like desperately, fighting, and it's sold out everywhere, and there's
You're not on about Last Action Hero, by the way.
What do you mean?
You're on about Jingle All the Way.
Oh yes, Jingle All the Way. Sorry. Still, was it you who told me that?
No, it wasn't. But actually, I could believe that. It's a great film. That.
Yeah, it is a great film.
Anyway, so yeah, the Furbies. There's a great story I remember. So when I was younger, me, my brother, and 3 of our cousins formed the super group, the Ickies. So we'd tour around the country performing as the Ickies. No, we'd perform in our living rooms to our parents. These little plays that we'd always set up, and it'd always be with the plays. It'd just humiliate my brother and our youngest cousin. We're just because the older ones would just think of ways just to embarrass them. But and there was one point because I was into magic when I was younger, and we did a magic show, and we used a Furby to disappear. Obviously, Furbies do not shut the fuck up. So we did this elaborate thing where I can't remember how we sort of made it disappear, but we made it disappear, and it was probably just pushing it down the side of a sofa or something because we was kids. But it was oh, where's it gone? And then suddenly this Furby starts talking in the background. It's where's it gone? No one knows. Ooh. But yeah, they were. So go on.
Well, the most important thing here is, what was your magician's name? What was your sort of
Magic Mike
alter ego? Magic Mike?
Yeah.
But can we just say, ladies and gentlemen, this was obviously before
yes,
Channing Tatum.
Very much before. Yes. But yeah, it was Magic Mike.
When we do our first video podcast, can I see Magic Mike come back out again?
maybe I'll show a little trick. I haven't done any tricks in ages.
Do you reckon you still got it in the locker there? Do you reckon if you practiced a bit?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah.
See, as much as I want to make fun of you, I have no other talent. I say other talent, I've got a talent. I guess my only talent is I talk a lot. I'm basically a fucking Furby.
Yeah. Where is the off switch? Similar to a Furby. This is completely unrelated, but another childhood toy. My sister had a Barney the dinosaur toy in which you rotated the head and it used to sing different songs. Not the head, the hat. So
I'd say that would have been absolutely
really disturbing.
Like the Exorcist spinning of this Barney.
No, it spun around the hats, and I remember it was so annoying. And I'm 99.9% sure that my dad got so fed up with it, he accidentally. This is an audio podcast. I am putting up quotation marks on my fingers. Accidentally put it in the washing machine. So it no longer worked.
You're probably going to end up doing that as a dad yourself,
I'm sure.
with some sort of toy.
Yeah. But yes, so that's my number 4 pick, the annoying Furby.
Like, as someone who never had a Furby, I think I seem to remember going to a cousin's house and there being a dead one, like years after the craze had all ended, that ran out of batteries. What the fuck did they do?
Well, just looking here, so they were meant to they started off speaking in Furbish, but then gradually they spoke English in place of it, and you sort of thought that you were teaching them, but really it was probably just programmed to sort of slowly convert Furbish to English. So looking on Wikipedia here, Witakulalu means tell me a joke, and stuff like that. So they were just designed to be annoying.
Yeah, but everyone wanted them.
Yeah. Well, just below this Furbish to English phrases, in 2016 they announced that there was a film adaptation. It's still not been made, but they're still talking about it in 2018, which isn't that long ago. I really hope
they get like Daniel Day-Lewis, like one of the most famous method actors ever to be, in this Furby film. He like really commits to the role.
Just sit there, go, "Yunai Buddha," which means how are you?
I feel like I want you throughout the rest of this podcast just to drop in phrases and see if I can guess what they are in Furby. See if I start to learn any Furby.
There's no way, because because do means what, and doodar means...
don't help me.
Yes.
I'm going to see if this... Maybe your magic, maybe I can pick up on languages really quickly. Who knows? That's what our podcast each week going to be, see if I can find a skill. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, do you want to have a go at guessing this phrase?
Yeah.
Okay, you. Y-O-O. What do you think that means in Furbish?
Hi.
So you've seen that Wita Lulu means tell me a joke.
Yeah.
Do means what, and doodar means yes. What do you think you means?
I'm saying it's not hello then. Pet me? Stroke me? That's creepy.
It is.
Not that.
But no, you means why will you not play with me today?
Oh yeah, obviously. God. I had absolutely no feelings about Furby before this, and now I hate them.
I like number 4. Do not like them in the slightest now, but they were a childhood toy, and I did have one, and I did play with it, so it couldn't be not included, could it? Even though the idea of it now physically repulses me.
Well, I feel ill. I feel like I could vomit. But like you say, I think it's. Although I never played with one, I could picture it in my head. And
yeah.
You have to mean it's like a very iconic childhood toy, isn't it? Even if
absolutely. Everyone knows what a Furby is.
Yeah. Okay, my number 4 then. Like I say, I've just Googled it. Some of them are worth a lot, but I don't think mine was one that's worth £500. But it was definitely. I bet it's still worth some money now if I still had it. And mine was a toy Millennium Falcon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I remember you could take off like the back part of the sort of the roof of it, and you could look inside, and you had that that little chess table they play with in A New Hope.
Oh yeah,
that's not sort of chess. You had that. You could sort of lift up the pilot side. You could mess about with the little radar on it. Yeah, absolutely awesome. It was massive as well. And I was never really the biggest Star Wars fan, so I feel like I wasted.
Yeah, because we talked about this before. Because you don't really enjoy them, do you?
Not massively, no. But yeah, so I just ended up using it for my other toys. I can transport my other sort of small toys in it and just use it as like, rather than like probably the most famous spaceship in the history of the world, and just use it as like a random plane that would fly like my whatever, like I say, toys I had that fit inside, which I don't want to talk about in case I spoil it.
Okay.
That'll come up later. But yeah, but what I do have tied to it is a really vivid memory, which is actually quite sad, but I think it's something that's very relatable when you talk about childhood toys. And it was the first time I really realised, I think, that Santa wasn't real. Like, I can vividly remember, like, I think I was pretty, 100% nailed on Santa was real.
Yeah.
Until this moment. And my sister's, like, 4 years older than me, so she obviously at that point knew. And she tried to convince me to look for presents around the house with her for about a week before.
Yeah.
I was like, why would there be presents in the house? Like, Santa surely got them. So it was, in my head, I think my little childhood brain was starting to work out. Maybe there was no Santa.
Did your parents buy? Well, was Santa the person who brought all the gifts then?
Yeah, I mean, not like physically, neither of them dressed up. It was just one of those, in the morning.
No, but I mean, like, none of the presents were from your parents when you was at Christmas. Those from Santa.
Well, I think they'd say things like, "Oh, this is from your auntie. This is from your uncle. This is from us." But I think they'd explain that, like, they tell Santa what we want, like because they sent our list off, so that's almost like what your auntie chose Santa to get you.
Everyone's always got slightly different variations of how Santa works, haven't they?
Yeah, it's almost like it's all bullshit, isn't it? So there's no continuity. But yeah, there's. I remember going to my grandma's, and then that's where she went. Well, maybe she's hidden something at my grandma's. So we went, snuck upstairs, snuck into a room, and there was the Millennium Falcon. Not wrapped, and there was some present for my sister as well that was fairly big. And I remember going downstairs because she's like, "Don't tell Mum, she's gonna kill me." But I went downstairs, I was like, "Why is there a Millennium Falcon up there?" And like, I could tell how annoyed my mum was that that we'd found out. Like, she's like, "Oh God, they're not surprised now." So, but she still tried to say like, "Oh, sometimes Santa is busy, so he delivered it to us, so we wrapped them instead of the elves this year." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I still tried to pretend. I tried to accept that, but deep down, every Christmas was hollow after that.
Oh, that's depressing. The moment you realise that Santa's not real. I remember exactly where I was.
Where were you?
So I was in Bank Court in Hemel Hempstead, which is a sort of like area where there's a load of banks around. And my mum was having an argument with me about a present that she had brought me. But I was adamant that it was Santa that brought me that present. And she was absolutely adamant, said where it was, and then something slowly twigged in her mind. She was like, "Oh yeah, that was Santa, wasn't it?" I was like, "But why are you arguing so much?" And then sort of like all twigged together in one place.
It's horrible work because Christmas is never quite as good after that, is it?
See, yes and no, because my sister's 10 years younger than me, so Santa was real for quite some time.
So you got to then be part of the trying to make sure she doesn't find out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember it was sort of getting almost embarrassingly too long, and my mum got me to try and find out whether she knew Santa was real or not. But my sister was pretending that it wasn't real that Santa was real because she still wanted the idea of presents.
Yeah, she was worried that I think every kid, like I say, I don't think I ever admitted to my mum or dad for a few years after that Santa wasn't real, in the same sort of like you say, worry that you won't get as many presents or whatever.
But yeah, it's always depressing, that moment. But we still get what they call stockings from Santa. I think it's because it went on for so long in our life. It's just a nice thing that we continue the sort of tradition of.
Yeah, it's nice that.
Yeah.
Right, so number 3, off you go, Mike.
So this is the one I feel I'm cheating with.
Okay.
So you included Action Man earlier, and I get the feeling you're going to include another action figure or more later. But I have included action figures as one choice.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine with me.
So I've got 4 that I was going to talk about. I've already talked about Action Man. But I used to have a Biker Mice from Mars action figure.
Awesome. Yeah, love it.
Street Sharks action figure.
Yeah, remember them.
And Power Rangers action figures.
Yep, that's on my honourable mentions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So not Street Sharks, Power Rangers being talked about now. But I always used to sort of bring all the scenarios in together. So when I said earlier, though, that there was a bath toy that definitely probably was a bit too old for me to be in the bath.
Yeah.
Google Moby Lick. It was a street shark.
I think I watched that video, mate. I don't think children should be. Moby Lick, as in...
Lick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he was badass.
He was badass. He was an ally of the street sharks.
Does he kill a whale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not really a toy that should go in the bath.
yeah. Just because he looks like one, yeah.
Yeah. But it used to fire water out of its head, so that's why it was a bath toy. But yeah, so I had the Biker Mice from Mars. I remember the having the bike with it and the figures that went on top. Power Rangers, I think I only had red and blue, but I definitely also had a Megazord and a sword somewhere. Absolutely obsessed with Power Rangers as a kid, by the way. In fact, I think at university I tried to rewatch the first season, so apparently apparently still obsessed with Power Rangers as an adult.
Did it work? Was it any good or was it awful?
It is awful. It is one of the most dated things I've ever seen in my life.
But the toys were fantastic. Did you have the ones where you could like twist, where their heads would like flip?
Yeah, so they'd flip the heads around, and it'd be either their identity, which would have been Billy or Tommy or Jason, depending on. I think it was probably Jason.
What do you mean? Who's your favourite? You mean?
No, in terms of the Red Ranger.
Yeah, Red Ranger was Tommy, wasn't it? And then Jason.
Jason was the Red Ranger. Tommy was the white. Well, originally he was the green. Appeared in like season 1 for like 3-parter called Green with Envy. Like I said, I was obsessed with it as a kid. But yeah, I remember still going to see the movie with one of my friends, and there's a picture of us like with a thumbs up at the Odeon, and there's 2 Power Rangers. I think it's the pink and red Power Rangers behind us.
Oh, Pink Ranger, absolute filth.
Right, we haven't done this podcast to start your fantasies here, Mike, because that was deeply disturbing.
Hey, that's going to my first. If we were to do a top 5 childhood crushes, she's straight on those. Is it Kimberly?
Oh yeah, Kimberly, absolutely. Amy Johnson.
As in, no, that's Ashley Johnson who voices Ellie in The Last of Us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what?
No, it's Amy Johnson, isn't it? Who's
I don't know.
Kimberly.
I believe you.
Oh, I thought he was Googling it. Anyway, so yeah, these action figures, you'd put them in different scenarios, wouldn't you? And just absolutely, we had a load of class action figures, I feel, for our era.
Oh, yeah, I think kids today, I think because of how popular and how easy accessible games are, like, in comparison to maybe when we were kids, they don't play with physical things as much anymore. You know, to that sort of age where they get to about, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think it goes straight almost to games for them. Like, games.
Well, when I actually text my dad about, my mum and dad, I sort of text my family asking if there's any sort of childhood games that they remember me playing with. Sorry, not video games. Childhood toys that they remember me playing with. My dad gave me a few suggestions, but then also said at the end of it, it's like, I think toys were sort of ruined for you by the day we got you the Sega Mega Drive.
Like it was never quite the same again.
Yeah. And it's like, now kids have got far more video games to play with. So the sort of idea of playing with these physical action figures is just gone. They'd rather now just buy skins for their people on Fortnite.
Well, my number 3 and number 1 pick, I did come back to for quite, not like into my like teens or anything, I'd say, but I did come back to them until I was at least 11, I'd say, 12.
Yeah.
Maybe even 13. But yeah, you're right. As soon as your console comes in, for me it was the N64 and the PS1. That's when, I maybe started playing less with physical things in the house.
Yeah. But yeah, like you say, with the mechanic with the Power Rangers flipping their heads around, with the Street Sharks, it was all about their giant mouths and like there was almost sort of like rubbery in their texture. And Biker Mice from Mars, I remember you used to be able to affix their hands to the handlebars to ride around with. They all had these great little sort of like quirks that made them unique. And what helped as well was an amazing TV show to go along with all 3 of them. Yeah,
that was one of those toys that I remember playing with when the show was on.
What, Biker Mice?
Yeah, and Power Rangers as well, to be fair. Like, I'd have the toys with the show at the same time.
Yeah.
So you'd almost play alongside it.
So yeah, that's my number 3 choice. Action figures as a genre, but I have picked the action figures that I remember best.
No, I think that's great. I don't think it counts. I think it counts because, like I said, I sort of had not put them together, but yeah, I think there were some really, really good shouts in there.
Yeah.
My number 3 is similar-ish, I guess, but miniaturized, and that was those green army men figures.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely loved them.
Really? They did nothing?
Yeah, but you've got a crazy imagination. They do everything. I think there's 2 reasons why. So I've got sort of 2 stories. I think that's why they're so high up for me, in all honesty, is because there's sort of like memories attached to them. One, I remember going to my auntie's house. I had a cousin, and she had. Do you remember Sylvanian families.
Oh yeah, my cousins had them.
Yeah, so I remember she had like a bakery, and then she had this really cool windmill that had like a working winch, just to mean that you could bring the bucket up and down with. And I was never allowed to obviously play with them because she was one of those like, no, you can't play with any of my toys, they're all mine. And one day she was out, so I was like, can I play with it? She's like, you've got to be quick though, she's gone for 2 hours, so we'll have an hour and a half, I think it's half an hour to pack it away, and Ben said hopefully she doesn't notice. I was like, okay. And anyway, we both sort of forgot about, I forgot because I was playing my game, my auntie was probably doing something, and my cousin came back, and my army men had stormed the bakery, and a couple of the Sylvanians had been killed in the collateral damage, and one of the, we couldn't get to the windmill in time to save Mama Sylvanian thing, and she was hung by her neck from the windmill winch. Like,
oh bloody hell!
How fucked up is that?
That's dark.
That's because my dad used to let me watch action films with like Bruce Willis films and stuff when I was way too young.
Oh, I love that though. That's brilliant. That is an imagination and a half. Okay, I'll give you that.
She was a cousin who was a shouter as well. So when she just stared at me in silence, I knew it was bad.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And then the other thing I remember, sort of linked to the Green Army then, was I remember having some cowboys and Indians, or Native Americans, as we should call them. And I remember my dad came up with this game where we'd pick, we'd either split the army men in half, or we'd one would take the cowboys and one would take the Indians, and we'd set them up on one side of the living room, and we'd get pegs.
Okay.
And you were allowed 3 pegs, and the winner was the sort of the person who had a last action figure standing.
Mm.
So it was really cool because you actually, like it took this, sort of like, it was almost like a version of like beer pong almost. Just to be, I was like I think about it now, I'm like, that could have easily been turned into a really cool drinking game if I still had army men figures around.
Yeah.
But it's great because do you remember the snipers and the bazookas men that used to like lie flat on their stomach?
Yeah, on their stomachs, yeah.
So they were the hardest ones. You had to hit them hard enough that they'd flip over onto their back. So yeah, I remember that, and I had some like small vehicles as well. But like I remember we used to mix them up. So I'd have like the sniper in the back of a cowboy wagon thing. Like one of the.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, from a historical standpoint, it was nonsense, but from a gameplay perspective, it was ingenious.
No, part of me feels like the moment you said that, I used to do similar things.
Yeah, but I imagine it wasn't something. Yeah, I imagine it was something. It's such a simple idea that lots of people sort of used.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just got really fond memories of playing that game, and I guess taking it away from imagination and turning into like an actual skilled game was quite interesting as well.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you that one. You sold it.
Do you know what? Let's try and get some and have a go. Let's play a game.
And do you know what? I'm going to link this into videos and TV shows and stuff again now.
Yeah.
There was a great Army Men game on the PlayStation. Did you ever play it?
I feel like it's one of the games that I've seen and heard some people talk about it, but I don't think I actually ever have.
It was a great little sort of like almost like a capture the flag type scenario game.
Operation Green on the Game Boy Advance, Army Men World War on PlayStation 1, Army Men Sarge's Heroes. Sarge's Heroes I may have played. I'm looking at the front cover now and I can see
Sarge's Heroes is the one that I played.
Yeah. So yeah, I may have done that. There's an RTS one as well, which I bet was sick.
Yeah, probably. But then also, to bring it around to films, just because of my action figure choice and then your army choice, do you remember Small Soldiers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What an amazing film.
But that's again a bit, like, it's what you sort of dream of as a kid, isn't it? Like how
yeah,
cool
that everything's real.
Alive. Yeah.
Like, obviously, Toy Story is the main one with that, but I think, yeah, Small Soldiers, with it being sort of live action, just made it that much better. It was quite a bit darker as well than Toy Story, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think it was. I have a vivid memory. Yeah, when they started messing up with the Barbies and using that weird machine to like I can't remember, they'd bring extra toys to life, I think. They'd shaved all the Barbies and they were like absolute nut jobs.
I might go back and rewatch that film. I remember it being great.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the cinema to watch that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, great choice for number 3.
Nice. So, moving on to number 2.
Number 2 is a toy that probably everyone had a variation of this, but mine was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Do you remember Early Learning Centre for starters?
Yeah.
In the middle, it was in the middle of the one in my store. There used to be all of the sort of like farmyard and wildlife animals.
Yeah.
And there used to be great little toys there. I had loads of them as a kid, as well as like all the fences and the sort of hedges. And I remember having it on this sort of like playmat. But what happened was my dad had actually made this, so he had spent ages super gluing like all the fences to a mat and everything, making the scenery and painting it all to make it look like an actual farmyard.
That's awesome.
But apparently my mum, when I told my mum this the other day, she said, yeah, and then one of you just pulled it to bits within seconds and you spent all night on it. I was like, I didn't know that side of it, but I do remember it being an awesome toy. It can't have all sort of been pulled apart within seconds, because I do remember playing with it quite a lot. But yeah, so we actually had a place for all these farmyard animals to sort of play in.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like I said, it's something that I'm pretty sure everyone would have had as a kid, but we had a different variant because my dad helped make part of it.
Do you know, I don't think I ever did, but I seem to remember, like, if I ever went to the hospital, that they'd be there. So I think it always makes me feel like a little bit ill, like thinking about things.
Really?
I seem to remember I'd have a GP or something, or the hospital, that, yeah, they had these toys to play. So I remember playing with it. So obviously every time I played with them, I wasn't feeling very well.
Oh. I remember the lion and the... because I think at the lion I used to chew on the tail as a kid. But they always had their, like I've just got memories. And, like, you know when you can feel memories, as weird as that sounds? I can sort of feel, like, the lettering that was indented onto all their stomachs. To sort of, like, all this sort of, not terms and conditions, but copyright stuff and all that sort of bit on their stomachs and sort of carved in. I remember, like, yeah, I just played with it a lot. Can't really say I imagine that I played farmyard with it. That'd be the most obvious thing. But it was a great toy, and I thank my dad for making it.
That's pretty cool, that.
Yeah. I haven't got much to say about it because it's not really one that you can sort of... Well, you might be able to relate to it, but you might not have had that exact thing. But, yeah. My dad was quite creative like that. He always used to make little toys for us.
That's pretty cool. I never... Mum and Dad weren't like that. They couldn't do stuff like that. But, like, one of my mates, his dad built like, literally a proper tree house, like fort almost. Treehouse fort in his garden. I was like, that's amazing.
Awesome. That is awesome.
But I'm not going to criticise Mum and Dad because when I have kids, I will not be able to do anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's no disrespect to anyone who didn't have that in the slightest.
My number 2, in some ways, should be number 1. But
well, then change it.
Well, I felt like it was like a bit of a cheat.
Okay.
So, my number 2, everyone I guarantee listening to would have played with this toy.
Okay.
And that is sticks. Pick up a stick, sword fight. Finding the right stick, gun. Making a little stick fort for some small creatures. They were awesome. Tell me you didn't used to play with sticks when you were a kid.
Oh, I definitely played with sticks, but I just want to now see an advert with you promoting sticks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Can I sell them? But I remember, like, you know, like, obviously, I think, you know, you see 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds pick up sticks and start waving them around. But I remember as I got a bit older, there was a real art when you were, like, in a woodland and you were, like, looking for one that had that sort of curve at the end that would look like the handle of a gun. And when one of your mates found one, you were super jealous. Like, you were like, oh, that's cool. But in your head, you're like, I want it so badly.
That's a good shout, that.
I know.
It is shit, but I like it.
I feel like it's one of the best ones because it's like when you're on a holiday and things like that, or you go to the park with one of your friends and, you know, and then as you get older, they just get more and more dangerous where, like, people start throwing them with a bit more force than they used to, and all of a sudden you realise, maybe we're getting too old for sticks. This is getting dangerous now. But yeah, I think sticks is like one that anyone from anywhere will at some point have picked up a stick and imagined it was something else. And I think there's something cool about that because I think that's the thing about childhood toys is that I think in some ways that's why I'm jaded when, as well as being an adult, but by seeing all these new toys because I feel like they do so much of the imagination for people.
Yeah,
like, you know, they make the noises, they've got more movement. Whereas back then it was, you know, you'd take them and you'd create your own world in them. And I think that's why I love books and TV shows and reading and stuff like that, to get lost in, you know, another world. And that's, you know, that's what playing with childhood toys was all about, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
while away the hours pretending, this.
Yeah, and with a
real.
stick, it's your imagination that's literally making absolutely everything.
Yeah, I remember sometimes playing. Probably a bit too old. I remember watching the first Lord of the Rings, going out to my mate's house to play, and then we ended up getting swords and pretending we were Aragorn and Legolas and having.
I still think. Yeah, I still think on walks. If I've gone on a long walk through the woods, I'd pick up a stick happily and just sort of whack it against the grating in a sort of fence as you went past.
Yeah, but that's it. Now you pretend to that adult thing where you pick one that's more a bit almost like a walking stick, and that's why pretending you do it. So you pick it up, you're like, this is to knock some leaves out of the way if we go a bit. Off,
you know what? You're
piece.
absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
But in your head, it's still some sort of staff or something, even as an adult. But yeah, next to your missus, you're like, any nettles, I'll get rid of them for us, don't worry.
No, solid choice. Love it.
Okay, so before we get to number one, and I've got a feeling surely we've both picked the same one. If you've not picked this, you're an idiot.
No,
podcast.
My number one has actually been mentioned by me previously.
Oh, I don't think you've mentioned this. Well, you're an idiot then that this isn't number one. My honourable mention will come after your honourable mention. So let's
yeah, it will.
Good save.
Right. So I've got two honourable mentions, mainly because I can't massively remember that much about one of them.
Yeah.
And the other one I don't think is allowed to count. So that's why I've sort of mentioned the two. So number one is the one that I don't think will count, and it's a scooter.
Yeah, I'm not counting that.
Yes, that's completely fair.
Things like that.
That is completely fair, but I do remember a point in my childhood, and everyone's childhood, where scooters were like the big thing.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I do remember the only reason that it probably wasn't higher for me, besides the fact that it's not a toy, is I had a horrific accident with one once, in which I was scootering along and hit her sort of rocking the pavement, went flying over the handlebars and completely ripped off all the skin on the palm of my hand.
Oh,
and
God.
Yeah, my mum rushed me to school, sort of because my whole hand was bleeding, and sort of washed it out as much as she could. But then there was some gravel that was still in there, and my hand had sort of started to heal over. So then we had to go to the hospital, and they had to peel back my skin to get this gravel out.
Do you still remember it being painful even to this day?
Yeah, I remember my dad not sort of almost not wanting to be there. He definitely didn't look. So yeah,
that's never good as a child when you look over your parents.
But yeah,
I'll build another farm for you whilst you do that.
I just feel it's got anecdote value. The story of a scooter, so that's why really I picked it.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then the other one that I remember but don't remember, I need to Google it, and you should Google along with me, listeners and Mike. Mm-hmm. Goosebumps Monster Maker.
Doesn't ring a bell hearing it.
So was it Goosebumps Monster Maker? Oh no! Oh yes, it was.
Monster Head Maker.
Monster Head Maker. That was it.
I've never seen or heard of this before.
So do you remember how when he's younger, girls would always get those Barbie doll heads in which they could sort of make it over?
Yeah.
Now imagine it for a guy. So it came with sort of silly putty and all that sort of stuff, and just literally a skull. And you could just create whatever you wanted. So you could put bolts and stuff onto it. You could cut its hair, comb it, and all sorts. You could put clay over its face to sort of make eyebrows and stuff like that. It was the male version of the Barbie doll that you could decorate.
I've seen two that it's not the box. It's like someone's they've done it all. One of them just looks like an alright geezer.
Oh really?
Yeah, it just looks like a cool dude. The other one is fucking horrifying because it's not got a nose. It's got that skull where it's just that hole where a nose should be. I'm like, that is absolutely. This is a toy that would never get made in the modern era because it'd be.
But it's great. It really is great. But I remember you could control the eyes as well to make them move. Yeah,
they do look very. Well, some of them do anyway. They look really creepily real, actually.
Yeah. So it was my brother who reminded me of that. But yeah, I loved it. Loved Goosebumps as a complete genre when I was younger, and growing up. Not the second one, but the first Goosebumps movie they made with Jack Black was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I quite liked it actually. To be fair,
yeah, it was as good as Jumanji until they made the sequel to Jumanji, and that made it better.
That's a big shout.
Right, they're my honourable mentions.
My honourable mention was going to be Power Rangers, but I've changed it to something even better because obviously you've mentioned it already. So Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. And I want you to Google this with me. Because although it wasn't Hot Wheels, I had it and used to use my Hot Wheels with it. I think this is one of those things that I think loads of people had. So put into Google children's car mat.
Oh, yeah.
And then on the images, did you ever have one of these?
Yeah, so I almost had picked as my choice a Micro Machines sort of van, but I couldn't remember the exact name of it or anything, but it sort of opened up to be a city.
Oh, nice.
And I was talking about that, and someone at work was like, oh yeah, I think my cousin had that. And we always used to sort of take the cars off and play with this mat that everyone used to have. And yeah, I absolutely had this mat as a kid.
Yeah, this was...
Or a version of this mat as a kid.
It was so cool though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my honorable mention. Great one. I don't have much more to say about them. It's Hot Wheels,
Hot Wheels on the road.
Yeah, you pretend they're a car and off you go. But more importantly, let's hear your number one.
My number one isn't... Hold on a second. 2 seconds.
I hope you keep this in. That's sort of exciting build-up. And then, hold on.
You know what? I'm going to keep this in then. If that's the way you're going to be.
Yeah.
It's all good. I was just reading the message from Lauren. It's all fine. So my number one, drum roll, please. Let's build up the tension more now. It's a shit choice. I feel. Well, it's not a shit choice. It's a great choice for me. But earlier you said you was going to mock me for it. So I was absolutely obsessed. In fact, can we stop even more for 1 second? Because I actually think I've still got this in the other room. Bear with me a second. I will be back. And this bit will be edited. We'll sort of like put some instrumental music here.
Okay. To make it seem like it was quicker.
Right, I'm back. So that was disappointing because I don't actually have the exact one I was looking for.
Okay.
But it's because when Googling it, I was trying to find out whenabouts the one I had come out. But the first version of this I got was by Paul Daniels, and it was a Magic set.
Oh, okay.
So this is one, like I said, I don't know if it's counted as a toy, but I definitely played with it. It was definitely a hobby as well.
Yeah.
And it's something that I used to perform magic shows for kids.
Like, were you ever in a competition?
Don't think I was ever in a competition.
Were you ever on a stage?
I did, my secondary school did a old-time musical style theatre show, in which it was sort of a cabaret of productions, instead of just one big thing. And yeah, I performed. So what I did is I taught, I think I was in year 11 at the time, and I taught 3 year 8s how to do magic. And then we went on stage and performed the tricks. So you're mocking me.
And I'm trying not to.
Wow.
Part of me, like I say, part of me is jealous because I do think when I see people do magic, it is pretty cool. But then part of me is just like, I just love this idea of year 11 Mike spending the whole year dressed as a magician and refusing to answer to anything other than Magic Mike.
Isn't that understandable? I'll ask you, did you make £50 an hour?
No, like I say, there is a cool element to it, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. And I have got the box of magic in my room next door.
What was your number one trick? What was
I
your
used
go-to?
to love doing the vanishing banana trick.
Listen, I don't want to know about you and your wife got pregnant.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you can make any magic sound like not rude or not stupid, can you?
No.
But yeah, I'll explain the trick. You go onto stage,
yeah,
and you're like, oh, I just got this new package from, you'd make up a website, but these days you'd say Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's a new magic trick. I haven't opened it yet, but I thought it comes with a CD, and you sort of like take out a CD. Yes, that's how old it was. It was a CD that you used to take out, and you'd be like, why don't I put this CD in the CD player, and we can learn the trick together? And they're like, the audience is like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. And then you'd go to the person who's running the CD sound, and you pass them the CD, and they press play. You go back, and it's like, hello, and welcome to your magic trick. In front of you, you'll have all you need to do this amazing trick, the vanishing bandana. Inside, you should have a hanky, so you take out a hanky, and you should have an ordinary bandana. You reach into a box, and it's a banana instead. And then it's all about sort of like, you sort of have to fold it up, and you sort of like go shake it on someone's head to prove that it's a real bandana, but obviously it's a banana. And then you sort of put it into this hanky, you do everything the instruction says, and then you open it up and it's disappeared.
Was it a real banana?
Yeah, it was a 100% real banana. I had to get a different banana each time.
That's cool.
So yeah, genuine magic trick, and I used to perform that one a lot. I used to like it.
How did it disappear?
Well, that's spoiling the secrets.
Were you ever in the circle?
I was never in the circle, but I did go see a really cool show in the Magic Circle once.
Did you?
Yeah, met a few cool magicians there.
Did they teach you anything?
No, I didn't learn anything like that.
But at one point, are you ever serious about taking it anywhere at any point? Were you ever I'd like to do this for a career, or?
Oh, absolutely, definitely. I genuinely did it probably until I went to university.
Okay, right. Here's what we're going to do for one of our first, like when we ever do a recording of something, or if we ever try and do a Mam on YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I want to do Penn and Teller Fool You, whatever it is.
Okay.
Where I'm going to be Penn and Teller with absolutely zero magical knowledge, and I mean zero. And then you're going to perform some tricks to me, and I'm going to see with my, I was going to say limited, with zero knowledge, if I can figure out how the trick is done.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Love it. That's my number one. I used to be obsessed with it. I used to go to Davenport's, which is a magic shop in London, all the time. And like I say, I've still got a box that's literally under my bed full of magic stuff. And I'm not ashamed of it. And that's also something, how I said my dad made me that farmyard stuff.
Yeah.
We used to sort of make stuff together. So the sort of, the classic disappearing rabbit.
Yeah.
From a cage. We built a cage for that once. We both once designed this. It was a really cool trick, actually, but I think it was just a bit sort of, the design wasn't great. But it was a funnel that you sort of plugged into this sort of wooden block, and then you tied this wooden block with some string, some rope, around someone, and then there was another wooden block on the other side, and you'd pour water into the front of the wooden block, into the sort of funnel that's attached to the front of the wooden block, and it'd come out the back of the wooden block.
That's cool.
So the whole idea was you'd pretend that you sort of drilled through the audience member. Yeah, so we used to build little things as well. Yeah.
So that's beyond just sort of an amateur hobby, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I definitely was. Like I said, I really was quite serious about it as a kid.
When did the career? About these people that I could have made it as a footballer, but my knee went when I was 14. What was your knee went when you were 14 story? When did you have to give it up?
I went to university and discovered alcohol.
And discovered.
No, I don't know what made me sort of stop give it up. But absolutely, will I be performing to my kids when they're growing up? Absolutely.
Looking forward to seeing you perform a trick for me, making fun of you, whilst also wanting to be amazed. So I do love a bit of magic.
I'll see what I can do.
I'm one of those people who want to know how it worked, and also don't, because I want the mystery to remain.
I think that's what I struggle. I used to sort of people would ask me so much, and then I'd tell them, and then they'd always be disappointed.
Yeah,
I was useless in that regard.
You'd have been terrible in the circle. Absolutely. Terrible. They may have killed you.
Mm. But yeah. So Paul Daniels, and it was Marvin's Magic. I remember this Marvin's Magic hat, which was sort of it used to be a hat that you used to hold in your hand, and then a rabbit used to come out and move about, but really it was just your hand moving a puppet. But yeah.
I've done that trick before with with popcorn.
Box of popcorn?
Yeah.
Saw that coming a mile off, didn't I? Right, we talked enough about magic. Let's hear your number one.
Well, my number one is this Paul Daniels Magic. No, it's I can't believe you've not picked this. I'm genuinely it's a weird Ellingham family thing that you when you were for a couple of years where your family were Amish people, apparently didn't let you watch things or do things. Lego. How the fuck is Lego not in your top 5?
So again, when I was talking to a colleague at work about this today,
yeah,
I said I really hope Mike chooses Lego, genuinely, and then I can call him a dick and say, why the fuck haven't you picked Connects?
Because Connects was shit.
Connects was far superior.
The Lego that they originally built in, like, I don't know, the 50s or 40s still
Denmark
fits the modern day Lego.
Yeah.
The moulds are still the same. That's unbelievable. First
or
of all.
Or lazy.
Well, like,
who am I to decide?
But I think Lego was way better when we were kids than it is now. Like, you get grown men who spend like £200 on, like, you know, like the Millennium Falcon or whatever, which is fine. But for me, Lego was all about. I remember having like a random, like, big box of, you know, random things from, like, loads of different stuff that had been all taken apart. So then that would be my weekend. I'd build my own, like, you know, house or town, and then I'd use my characters and try and create this. So it was almost like, I don't know, like you either film director, writer, actor, you know, 'cause you'd build your sets up, you know, your characters, and you'd play out this world you've built, and then you'd break it all down, and next weekend you'd start again. Like,
and then Connects would come along and be like, fuck you, Lego, I'm Connects.
I don't even really know what Connects is. What?
Do you not?
Is it the metally one that was a bit magnet?
No, that's Meccano.
Oh, yeah.
Connects, it was like loads of rods, but you could make all sorts of, like, sort of, I'd say more engineering type things. Like, things would actually work. So you could make, for example, a roller coaster or a big wheel or things like that, and things would actually turn and rotate with it.
Yeah, they were shit.
They weren't. Anyway, I will now say, and I'll stop dicking on Lego, I do enjoy Lego.
Oh, it was amazing. And, like,
I just wanted to have this argument.
I remember my mate having, he was one of those who got the proper sets. So like I said, mine was just always a random mix of shit. Like, I don't think I ever got a set as a present.
No, nor do I. All I remember really is having, it was like a blue tool set with green planks on top, and the green planks were like sort of grass, and they sort of like clipped into place on the top of the toolbox. Then you opened it up and all the Lego was underneath.
And was yours like random bits from different
things? I
things?
don't remember ever having a set. As an adult, I've definitely got sets, and, well, only a few random ones. I know Lauren's got a Harry Potter one. I've had a Batmobile one, for example. One of my friends, like your friend you're about to talk about, is also obsessed and gets them all the time.
Yeah, and it's he was a kid when he had them. But,
mine's an adult.
and absolutely no respect. I saw the Harry Potter castle was like $250 that came out. I really wanted it, but like, ultimately what stops me is I just, like I say, I loved building my own thing and then starting again. Like, you could have a real sense of accomplishment each time you started because you would build something. Whereas I just feel like I'd feel shortchanged building something then displaying it. Like, I liked the ripping it apart and starting again. So I don't think I could ever. It's why, as much as I think there's so many cool sets you can have, I don't think I'd ever want one because, like I said, I'd feel shortchanged rather than like a sense of pride. I think I think that's just me because of the way that I grew up with it. You know what I mean? That I only ever had random pieces. And like I said, I remember going to my mate Rob's house and he had like 6 or 7 Western sets.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool though, because it was cool to go over there and you could play like a proper...
Yeah, all the different stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, all connected together. It wasn't all like random ones. But yeah, like I say, I think that creative idea of it was amazing. Which I think, what for me makes Lego so good is I don't have a creative bone in my body. You know, like physically creating things, drawing, art, making models. Can't do it. I remember trying to do Lord of the Rings Games Workshop. I remember getting bored painting, so I don't have patience, and dipping a Gondor soldier in my silver paint. Because I was like, well, he's mostly silver, isn't he? And yes, like, the fact that I enjoyed it so much, who's not a particularly physically creative person,
says a lot.
Yeah, says a lot about how good Lego is, I think.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I could still, if someone put a tub of random Lego in front of me right now, I'd happily play it still, even as an adult. And it's the only list on both of our... Well, it's the only list for me that I would still have now and play and happily while away a few hours doing.
Well, I'll say that I remember a few years ago, I'm trying to think why we went to London. I think it was to go see QI, but I might be wrong with that. But me and a bunch of friends went to London, and we had a bit of time to kill, so we went to the Lego shop in... I've forgotten where it is now. Leicester Square. Leicester Square. I'm on about the place in London. Went to the Lego shop, and on the top floor...
I've never been.
Oh, it's like four levels.
Jesus.
with loads of toys that you'd probably never afford because they're so expensive. But it's just the creativity and the design of some of them. Like, it's really impressive seeing that actually. It's like a mini Lego land, if you will, because people have actually designed like London buses and Big Ben and stuff like that in there. But I remember on the top floor they had a sort of like I think there'd be Lego playsets all the way along that you could play with, and like random bits and pieces of random things. And the top one, there was like a Star Wars bit, and it was like you had to design your own ship. And me and 3 of my friends, all adults above the age of 30, sitting there building Lego, trying to, like, I wouldn't say stealing off kids, but if you saw that they had their eye on something, you'd be like, I wanted that. You'd get in there before them. Just building a spaceship and being like, we should probably move on because we've been in there for about 2 hours now. So yeah, absolutely something that you can still play with as an adult.
Yeah, I think, like I said, that was my only regret, getting rid of childhood toys.
Yeah.
Like, I have a vivid memory of my mum saying, like, you've not played with Action Men for, years. Your cousin would love them. Can we give them to him? I was like, yeah, fine. I remember getting rid of the Millennium Falcon and not really been bothered. My Green Army Man, not been bothered. My sticks I've still got to this day. My best one. No. You drop them at the end of your play session. But the Lego was the one that I remember when I got rid of it, about a month later, I was like, oh, what a mistake. And for years after that, there'd just be a little moment where I'd be like, oh, I wish I still had Lego. And even now as an adult, I get the odd bout where I'd be like, I'd love to play a bit of Lego right now.
Well, I won't lie. Behind me is a Lego head full of Lego that I've still got. It's also got in there some Farmyard Animals. So I've still got the Magic, Lego, and Farmyard Animals.
You are a hoarder, my friend.
I am. Like this Lego head's got just loads of toys that one day I'm hoping to pass down.
Knowing Lauren, she'll be like, no, they're too old. They're not safe. Who knows what they were?
Probably
what they were built with that could have something dangerous in.
Plutonium, probably. Yeah, which definitely. Is fine. It's fine. Bit of plutonium. Never hurt anyone.
That was a fun one. That was a different one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous about it beforehand, but actually we've managed our usual length of time talking.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, we're up to 77 minutes.
Oh, nice. Well, for a bit of continuity then. So last week, and I'm hoping someone guessed it, and I'm hoping we'll be discussing what tattoo or where you're going to get the tattoo. I came up with a challenge where people had to comment with their guess for a number between 1 and 1 million, and if someone guessed it right, you would have to get a Muppets tattoo, which you're fucking dreading. Have you told Lauren, by the way?
Yeah, I did, and she's going to text people to get them to enter.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. What? And we said we'd take it in turns, so it's your turn to do some sort of competition, isn't it, now, for people to have some sort of guess. Are
we going to wait for you to finish moving about? You fucking fidgeter.
We're going to have some... I've done well, it's only towards the end I've
missed
it. So yeah, so we're going to do some competition now, like we did last week, with the Muppets tattoo, but for me now. So have you got a forfeit in mind for me, or have you got what they've got to guess and write on Facebook or Twitter or email in?
So I think you should get a tattoo as well.
Okay.
Only fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I want your tattoo to say, that's magic, and a picture of Paul Daniels underneath it. I don't know how good some tattoo artists are. But since you just sticked on my number one choice.
Okay, deal. I would have, if I was in your shoes, I would have got Magic Mike and your face with a magic hat on.
Oh my god, that's so much better.
Yeah, but no, too late now. I've committed to your other one.
It's only because I'm looking at the playset that's literally called That's Magic. I'm full of regret. I'm going to find a way to bring magic into another category.
And get that back up again.
Yeah. And this time we're going to pick a number between 1 and 4.
Okay.
And no, I'm trying to think what, because picking numbers is a bit boring, isn't it? But I suppose that's the best way. Should we try and we'll bring down the number they have to guess between.
Oh yeah, that's okay when it's me getting the tattoo.
All right.
No, 1 in a million again this time, and then we'll change it for next week.
Well, I was about to say they have to guess the word I'm about to say.
Okay.
Okay. The word I'm about to say is cards.
No, bullshit. Because that is so topical. Not a chance. It's got to be like an absolutely random word that has nothing to do. Like, go on a random word generator. Pick a word that way.
All right. That can be random.
100% someone would have guessed that.
That's kind of why I wanted it. Randomwordgenerator.com. Apparently a real website. Number of words, 1. Yeah, we want one number. Okay, and the word is cards. No, the word is...
Okay.
Okay. So if any of you want to try and talk about slavery at any point to us, or... Am I being a bit unfair here?
No, I think, you can't have that in there, 100%. You've got to bleep all that out. But what we will say is from next week, maybe we'll make the forfeits a little less permanent, but then make it easier to guess.
Yeah, because otherwise this is just getting ridiculous, isn't it?
So we'll make.
Can I change the word, because I don't want to continuously bleep in this episode?
Okay.
We'll have the word be...
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Happy with that?
Happy with that. Say nothing else, because I feel like you're going to accidentally say something that links to it.
Don't know what you're on about. Right. I think I need to go to the bank.
I knew you were going to do that.
We'll go with... And I honestly, that'll be the last time I do that.
Okay. All right. I don't think we know what it is going to be next week, but then maybe, we apologise, maybe there's going to be a delay between this episode being released and the next one because Mike's a selfish prick and had a baby.
Again, Lauren still says, in fact, so she is actually in hospital right now, guys listening. We're waiting for the baby to arrive, but I'm not allowed to be there because of COVID.
It's crowning.
So the baby...
It's crowning as this is released.
Definitely not that point. But... yeah, I just couldn't be bothered to be there. I thought this podcast, speaking to you guys, was more important than my firstborn child. I'm sorry if you listen to this in the future. No, due to COVID restrictions, I'm not able to be there, but I'll be getting a phone call when it's potentially getting closer. But Lauren, genuinely in the hospital today, because I was allowed to pop in for an hour and a half for visiting, said to me, it's like, oh, maybe you should schedule some podcast recording with Mike since it's the half term. I was like, well, what about the baby? She's like, just make sure they're scheduled for only about 2 hours or so.
That's quite cool, though, isn't it?
So, happy for me to continue.
She's happy to not see you for 2 hours and for someone else to wear you out talking to you.
She's had a lot of gas and air. I don't know if that's related.
Hey, but it counts.
I got a recording of her saying it. So I don't think there will be a massive delay. I think we continue and just battle on.
Full steam ahead. Hey, maybe top 5 childhood crushes. We could have like a back-to-back childhood one.
You wanted to do childhood crushes?
Yeah, I have loads.
There's definitely one that I think my friend will punch me if I don't include it, and it's a guy. So it can be anything.
Yeah. There've been some attractive childhood figures, or...
For this one, it was his voice for some reason.
Was it?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Genuinely, do you want to know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously bleep it out. Well, you're not going to use it, are you?
I might do. I might put it as an honourable mention.
Okay, tell me, spoil it for me, but not anyone else. Just this one.
Genuinely, when I was younger, I really, really liked the sound of Rod Gilbert's voice.
Rod Gilbert's in the comedian Rod Gilbert?
Yeah, and I don't know why.
Do you know the worst bit about that is? Rod Gilbert wasn't famous until we were teenagers.
Yeah,
that's confusing.
Yeah. Not childhood, but I'd say probably about 16, 17 years old. I won't include this in my honourable mentions now. This is me telling you now. And the listeners.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of man crushes, but I think they were like as I was older. I'd say rather than like say Rod Gilbert thing.
Are you going to say more to that?
No, I think just the classic ones like Beckham, like what an attractive man he was.
Yeah,
and is still to this day.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Clooney.
Yeah,
he's just cool, wasn't he? He's just suave as fucking like Ocean's 11 stuff.
I'm trying to think of more now, but there's definitely maybe that'll be another topic.
Men that we fancy.
Yeah.
I could easily do that. Confusing
childhood moments.
Moments where you just weren't sure.
Oh, dear.
Right.
We'll have a think. That might be our topic for next week. We might think of something else. We've got nothing in the pipeline.
Here's one then. As what rather than for childhood crushes, if we do this, we'll switch up honourable mention for that week. And it's got to be like weird childhood crush. You know, one where you're like, I know I shouldn't have fancied this person, but I did.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can't think of an example, but I'm sure I will be able to. But like, I don't know. Like, if it was Ursula, you'd be like, I know it's weird, but there's something about her.
Like that time you told me you fancied Mrs. Norris from the first Harry Potter film.
That's a cat.
Yeah, I know. And I thought you were very weird for saying it.
Do you know what? In this day and age with furries, I don't think it'd even be that weird, would it?
No, I think there's probably someone out there who every time Mrs. Norris appeared on stage,
Gets stiffy.
screen, was absolutely devastated when didn't that get attacked by the basilisk?
Yeah, got frozen.
Yeah, absolutely devastated and broke that kid's heart or adult's heart.
I'm hoping it's an adult.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I'd rather it was an adult than a kid who was disturbed like that.
Yeah, definitely. And on that note,
I was going to say, I think every week we say this is our weirdest end chat ever, but we still get weirder.
Yeah,
we somehow manage it.
I want to know what peak weird will be. Do you know what I think it is? I think because we spoke so long, I think we was kind of like a little bit delirious almost.
Oh, I've been awake for a long time now, and I didn't sleep very much last night, so yeah. That's probably what it is for me. You've got no excuse.
Oh,
right.
I have got a weird male childhood crush, I think. Or, I don't know, hero worship. I don't know what the word would be.
Who is it?
We'll have to do top 5 childhood male crushes or something.
Okay.
See how that goes.
Yeah.
Right.
And on that note, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
As always, you can listen to us. You're listening to us now, so I'm pretty sure you know where to find us.
Yeah, hit us up on Facebook. Mammon Podcast, Twitter handle @Mammon Podcast, or our email mammonpodcast@hotmail.com, and guess your word so I can get some weird, creepy tattoo. Like, I feel like yours was fun. It would be a funny story if you had it. Like, it wouldn't be that embarrassing. Whereas mine,
oh yeah,
people is like, oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Right, lovely.
All right, speak to you later, Mike.
Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you later too, Mike.
Bye.
I was speaking to our listeners. But
well, I'll still speak to our listeners as well, but I thought I'd include us so it'd be like a little... Yeah, it's like we... So they felt like we just ended the podcast. That's how we ended our conversation.
Why don't you say thanks to every listener?
Thanks to most of them. Not you, and you know who you are.
Yeah, that was really mean what you did. Really mean. He's going to need a lot of lawn seed to sort that out.
Like, what happens if one of our random listeners is like a criminal, but like a bad one as well?
Not like a murderer.
Yeah, not like a Robin Hood, but yeah, like a killer. And not like a Dexter killer, like killing like nice people.
Oh, is that acceptable?
I think it is. If Shauna, sat me down and she's like, look, I'm a serial killer, but I only kill other serial killers, I'd be fine with it. Would you not, if Lauren would?
I think I would, but I'd also be a bit scared.
Well, only if you're a serial killer.
Well, I suppose. So I'd be a little bit scared.
It's an inside job. It's not a listener.
Right. On that note, seriously now, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Actually, this isn't the end. That was a trick. Please put a dinosaur emoji on your guess if you somehow made it through all of that shit show at the end.
So it was a wizard last week and now a dinosaur this week.
Let's go. Go.
I cannot believe that anyone wouldn't have stopped off from the first time, or would have continued past the first time we said goodbye, because I think this is now going to be the 5th time we've said goodbye.
I am one of those people on the phone that like carries the goodbye on, so I'll like think of something else.
Well, those who are adamant listeners will know that there's music at the end instead of stopping, so you'd listen to the music, wouldn't you?
Mm.
And those who are diehard fans will know that there sometimes might be something after the music.
We're like the motherfucking Marvel films.
Oh, I know. You got to stay for the credits. Right. Is this going to be the actual goodbye?
I think so. Let's see. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Right, shall I stop recording?
I love that you ask me that every single time.
Okay, fuck it.